What's up, everybody? Josh Holly here with TBT Racing, and today we wanted to bring you guys a fun conversation video for YouTube. We're actually here with Seth Harrell from Kentucky. He is one of our franchise owners, and we're calling that the Mid-South Division, but Seth is one of our graduates from the training program, and I don't want to tell you if he's doing good or bad. I want to let him tell you guys how it's going in his first 90 days, but we want to have this conversation to just bring you into his world a little bit, his experience going through the training program, how it's going actually with his business, where he's at right now, and then some advice, some tips, some just good information about Seth. So, Seth, welcome to the show, man. I'm so stoked that you're here. I'm glad we get to have a conversation together.
Yeah, super glad to be here.
Stoked, man. All right, well, dude, let's just jump right into it because this is an honest conversation. We know YouTubers like you and myself love to hear great, honest conversations. So, like, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, who are you? Why Kentucky? All the good stuff. Give us the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, like I said, my name is Seth Harrell. I'm 25 years old and born and raised right here in Western Kentucky, Murray, Kentucky to be exact. But grew up in the dirt bike world. We really started out woods racing and stuff and riding since I was a kid. But that's where it started. Got all of it right from 3 or 4 years old and so on. Dad started teaching me how to work on the bikes, and it just blew up from there. So.
Nice. So was it one of those things where it was like you got into riding so much that you were like, how do I make my bike better type thing? Or
Yeah, it was like that. I was not a rich kid by any means. I was middle class, and if I didn't know how to work on my bike, we weren't paying somebody to do it.
for
So
sure.
that was basically how I learned to do what I knew up until as far as suspension goes, until I actually got certified and started training and doing it legitimately.
Awesome. So I mean, obviously you're a dirt bike rider and you've been riding for how long? I mean, you've been doing your whole life or
Yeah, so my whole life, probably 3 or 4 years old when I first got on a bike, little KTM 50, and from there it just.
nice. And you said woods riding, but you ride motocross and all different types of motocross, right?
Yeah, so we've actually been pretty heavy into motocross as of this year. We've been doing a lot of trackside stuff since we did franchise with TBT and whatnot. But I grew up in the woods. It was just the majority of our riding around here. And here within the past couple of years, a lot of tracks have started popping up, and it's really, the motocross scene is growing. So we're getting hot and heavy into that too. So.
Very cool. Yeah. So, I mean, from your perspective, because a lot of people would ask, like, people that do suspension or work on bikes, if they're only doing one genre, very specific, it's hard to understand everybody's needs. But yeah, I mean, I know you, and it sounds like you got a pretty good perspective on all different types of riding.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's super important for a tuner to really ride a bike too. I know that if I was taking my suspension to somebody who's, doesn't really ride or doesn't ride motocross or woods or whatever I'm doing, they may not understand all my feedback, perfect. I think it's pretty cool for your tuner to ride to, or have at least a background in riding, kind of know what you're talking about. If you say the bike's stiff here or soft, in certain places. So.
100%. You obviously took that excitement for moto and, in the suspension side of things, and then you clearly had passion for it and you wanted to turn it into something that wasn't just benefiting you, but where you could benefit others. So kind of just bridge that for us. Like what took it? I know you did the TBT training and we'll get into that, but what took it from, hey, I'm working on my stuff and I like the options that I have and I can make stuff great for me and my family, to, hey, am I good at this? Like, what do I need to like make this transition so I can help others and do this for everybody?
Yeah, so it started off really gradually. When I first got into suspension, I actually had no intentions of it. Like, I opened this shop, HPR Power Sports, and I planned on doing general service, selling some parts and gear and stuff like that. And basically, I just started getting hammered with, "Hey man, can you do my fork seals? There's not many people in this area doing it." And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. It blew up from there. So I learned how to do fork seals. I studied, some different materials, lots of Rocky Mountain YouTube stuff, and then found TBT on YouTube as well. But what really took it to the next level was I was getting people asking, "Hey man, I want my suspension revalved. I want it set up for me, but I don't want to send it off to Factory Connection or somebody else." And, have to wait on it for 3 weeks. I'd rather use a local guy. And so I started diving into it on my own stuff first and kind of tuning with it. Once I started getting comfortable adjusting on my bike, I was making it better for sure. I definitely knew what I was doing and started tuning other guys, but I just wanted to take it to the next level, knowing that when I start charging for revolves, I want it to be the best. And so that's where TBT came in. I decided to go off and get certified with them, and we did franchise. And so I just know now when I revolve a bike, it's 100% right the first try. Adjust some clickers, but other than that, it's spot on. So it's, you're getting your money's worth, in other words.
Yeah, I love it. As a rider, we know turnaround time is everything, right? So I can see that frustration. Oh, if I send it off, I'm not riding for 3 weeks. And everybody wants to have somebody local. And I think more importantly, the turnaround time is great, but just somebody you trust, right? Because you can, with suspension, you're working through settings, riding style, a bunch of that stuff, and you're wanting to build something that has like repetition and longevity. And so if you find somebody that knows how to do it right and also do it to how you like it, then you can get in a good spot really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else is cool is that, like as of recent, we're 2 hours from Nashville, and I've had a bunch of Nashville guys who are doing hard enduro stuff coming in. And what's cool about that is I get to set up their suspension, and then we've got a trail over here just, 15 minutes from the shop. Say, hey, man, let's go take it out. Let's see how it works, see what you think. And I can help you adjust clickers, double check your sag, all of that stuff. And I can actually ride with these guys. You're not just getting your suspension back. You've actually got that access here, to go ride with me. So
that's awesome, dude. So yeah, hearing you talk, I know that it was key for you to meet a need that was happening in your area. One of the things that I dig about you, Seth, when I first met you is your not just your willingness, but your joy to learn correctly. And you just voiced that. But yeah, that's the worst thing when you see somebody start a business, but then they don't put the hard work to get the knowledge and the certification and have that be equipped to knock out the job, not only well, but consistently and build that trust. So it's really cool that you put the time, the money, the energy, the effort into doing it, and doing it right. And that's obviously TBT. That is our number one thing, is we do not want to just like certify anybody. It's like, hey, we're here to do this right and treat the customer, top tier. And so just take us through the training a little bit, because obviously you found TBT on the internet. You obviously connected and talked with Travis. You found out what the opportunity was for the training course. And then you were like, I'm committing to this. I'm going for it. And then, that's when I got to meet you at the training course, which is awesome. And we got to have a good time, and I got to watch you guys learn. But talk to the viewers a little bit about that experience and how that course was so valuable in bringing you to where you're at now.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I started seeing a couple of TBT stickers through the shop every now and then, and I knew I wanted to do more. Like we talked about, I want to give that best level ride, And so I started searching into TBT. I saw them online. I've been following some of the TBT franchises for a while in different locations. And so I contacted Travis, reached out to him. And what's cool about it was he's just super down to earth. You're not, going back on emails for 4 weeks or something, trying to get a response, anything like that. It's, he called me like the same, like, hey man, talk to him down to earth. Yeah, this is the price, this is what we do. And so I just ended up pulling the trigger on it. As soon as he sent me the invoice, I paid immediately. I'm like, we're doing this thing. So it was really cool. Got down there to California, and just an awesome experience in general. We went training in the classroom the first couple hours of the day. Then after lunch, we go out and get on the bench. And that's also what sets it apart, They've got some online trainings and things from different companies, but this TBT is hands-on. You're actually working on the suspension. You're checking it with Travis right there over your shoulder. That's what's really cool. And then not to mention, on the last or second to last day, I believe, we got to go out to Glen Helen and some other tracks and actually ride what we tuned. So it's more than just like build it, you're done, we're sending it to the customer. No, you actually get to ride it and feel it. So
yeah. It was rad for me to come and to document the training course, even shooting video and capturing what was going on, because me getting to learn what was happening at the training course, it blew me away. I'm like, why don't they do a video or photography course like this where you can get hands-on? Because you would leave completely a changed person. I'm like, we need more of that. And I feel like, at TBT, Travis is just absolutely crushing that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, that takes us right into you. So you're 90 days in to your franchise. Obviously, the hardest part about starting any business is that first year to 2 years. It can be difficult no matter how well equipped you are. So just walk us through that. What does that 90 days look like for you? With TBT?
Yeah. So, being that I already had a decent setup going, I didn't have to, go out and order tools or anything crazy. So it was cool that I already had a lot of stuff to work with. I was already using, for the majority of my seals, I was using what Travis recommended. As far as the work and everything goes, obviously, we're building it based off of what Travis recommends, what's been tried, proven, tested, for thousands of riders. It's going to work on the first try. So it's awesome being able to build that, put it right into the bike and know it's going to be perfect. There's no more going back in and tuning, checking back in with the rider and saying, hey, it's too stiff here, too soft there. So it's perfect first try. But we have seen, as far as the franchise goes, being the TBT location now, I have seen a little bit more work, and we've been pushing harder too. It's that increase in confidence that we're doing it right, and so we can be at the track, we can tune for a pro motocross rider or just a beginner, and it's going to be awesome.
Like, dude, how good does that feel? And I know that from a video perspective, when I'm well equipped, like I got that swag in me where I'm like, if somebody walks through the door, I'm like, I got you, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. It's just a huge confidence booster because, like, again, it's right on the first try for a pro or beginner.
Yeah, that's massive. So, dude, I mean, I know that you're doing well, and that's a part of why I wanted to jump on here with you is because you're crushing it, and I hear from the rest of the team and Travis, and they're like, dude, Seth is just killing the game, and a lot of that not has, it's not just the training, it's not just being a franchise owner, but it's being passionate, right? Because you are passionate about motocross and suspension, and others who need that service, and it's showing, and I think that's why you enjoy doing what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. It all boils down to passion. If you're not in this sport, there's no reason to be tuning suspension. In my opinion, anything you do, I personally believe you got to be passionate about it. This is not even really a job to me. It's a hobby. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle at this point. Riding since I can remember, and now another thing is being at the track. I'm there riding too. Not only set up and help people with suspension, I get out there and have fun with it, just like we always have. There's just more to it now. So.
Ah, that's awesome. So, dude, yeah, I mean, what are some, let's talk about maybe some challenges because, everything can be positive and good. And I know you're crushing it and you're doing well. But this is a real podcast. I want people to also know, like, life, business, it can be hard. What are a couple challenges that you face? And maybe explaining that to the viewer can even help them, maybe whether they're going to go into training or whether they want to pursue something like this, but maybe it's not something that they're like thinking right now. But now that you've been into it a while, you're 90 days as a franchise owner, you have that experience. What could be some of those challenges or hurdles that you got to jump through that others could be more well equipped going into their own business?
It's sort of a money game at first. I'd say the first year is definitely going to be the hardest. Once you get rolling after that, start recouping all that money back, then you're on the roll. Kind of unrelated to business expenses, the importance of setting up your suspension is another challenge. A lot of people only know what they've rode, and if they've always rode stock bikes, they don't know any better. The thing I hear a lot of times is, when I start talking to somebody and getting them, kind of thinking about suspension after they do it and get a full setup, they're like, man, I'm never going back. We're doing this on every bike from here on out. And that's half the battle too, is just getting people to understand what they're missing out on. So
it's pretty interesting because I started my own business as in the video photo world, and I'm almost 2 years into it, and I'm barely starting to cover costs and break even type thing, and it's been a long road. And it makes me think how valuable and important it would have been if I would have maybe taking an option with somebody that already was established, or branch off of that thing. And I think that's where the franchise thing comes into play because, with TBT, like obviously suspension isn't my game, but now that I've done my own business, I'm like, I see why there's obviously going to be upfront cost, but by joining with somebody who's already proven, already done it, has all the intel, they have the brand built, they have the backing, that definitely propels you. You have a lot more momentum, energy, knowledge, all that good stuff that you need to succeed. And that window of starting a business, that long gap closes up and you start making revenue. The ROI is a lot faster, wouldn't you say?
Right. Yeah. It's the difference in starting, here and now you're starting here because you're already ahead of the game. You've got the TBT logo on your truck or your box trailer. You're not starting from scratch like I did with HBR. It was starting from scratch. Brand new business. Is this guy legit? Does he know what he's doing? TBT, you Google in 5 minutes, okay, these guys are legit. There's no question about it. So
Yeah, crushing the game. Yeah, so that's awesome. So maybe we'll I don't want to take too long because I know this video can get pretty long. I mean, you can talk about suspension forever, but I mean, tell the viewers that training class because obviously you decided to turn this into the franchise and go that route. And we encourage as many people who want to do that to do that. But the training course isn't just for people who want to franchise or want to, do TBT. It's for literally, it can be all the way down to the person who just wants to know how to set up their own bike or a dad who wants to be the moto dad and make sure all the stuff's dialed for his kid. I mean, or just someone who just wants to start the journey and see where it takes them. So talk about the training course a little bit more and like I guess what advice would you give to those who are intrigued about suspension, but they want to learn about it. But it's like YouTube's confusing. I have 3,000 videos that tell me 3,000 different things. So like, where does that importance come in with like a TBT training course?
definitely getting training from TBT is legitimate. Like, no more YouTube certification. There's a lot of guys out here that are like, yeah, I can do fork seals because I saw Joe Bob do it on YouTube. And okay, all right, well, maybe, but no, I mean, for anybody that's really interested in suspension, you're going to be doing it right. There's no question that is this legitimate? Like YouTube, I've seen so much stuff on YouTube that is just crazy wrong that like it should be illegal for them to upload.
And you know what? And the sad part is it feels and looks right. And so then you just wind up confused and you're like, man, I really would love to start my own suspension business, but I'm more lost than when I started.
Right. Exactly. And that's half the battle probably for some people going into it if they haven't done a lot of suspension is unlearning, so to speak, doing it right. If you're going to be rebuilding your seals, what you can learn at TBT is going to be applicable for, the rest of your life.
I don't know how Travis does it. He's so big about spreading knowledge and getting people going, and he's all about people. And you feel that the moment that you meet him, he's passionate about what he does. And I love that he makes that price point and the admission for that training course so accessible. So I know again we could talk forever. We got to wrap this up, but I just want to say, Seth, congratulations on the 90 days in, and congratulations on your business. And this conversation has been a lot of fun, and I hope we get to do it again. But yeah, any final words to send off this video?
If you're debating doing it, I say just pull the trigger right now. Don't hesitate. Get out there and learn something new. Know that you're doing it right, and you're not going to regret it. So,
dig it. All right. Well, TBT Mid-South. Let's go. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with that conversation with Seth. I had a blast. Seth is absolutely crushing it. For those of you guys that want more information on TBT Racing, you can go to tbtracing.com to learn more. Also, if you're curious about the training course and want to get more information on that, maybe even sign up, you can reach out to Travis at his email address, tuner@tbtracing.com. That's TUNER at tbtracing.com. And we look forward to hearing from you guys very soon. In the meantime, happy tuning.